Hey guys, how's everybody doing this evening?
I'm gonna adjust Instagram just a little bit. Alrighty. Instagram fam. How you guys doing? Facebook family. How you guys doing? Hopefully everybody is doing well. Welcome to a special Friday edition of Health Talk with the Motts. It is December's. Wow, how long have we been doing Health Talk with the Motts? Has it been over a year?
Oh, it's been over a year, yeah.
Oh, wow. So we're getting to the tail end of 2018. And so New Year's right around the corner. Mm-hmm. A lot of people think about making changes that specific time of year. So we want to kind of give you guys, some things to think about as you're thinking about making healthy changes starting in January, which will be here in just a couple weeks.
Yes.
So as we have some good information to share with you guys as we're going through, feel free to leave questions in the comment section. We'll try to go back and answer them at the end, or feel free to chime off. Let us know where you're from. If you have any comments that you'd like to leave as well, feel welcome to do that as well. But we're going to be talking a lot about cleanses. So we want to talk about why people generally do a cleanse or a detox, what is the best way, why is it necessary for the body, and how you can genuinely use a cleanse to the best benefit so that you can have more energy in 2019, feel better in 2019, and just all around live healthier. So Dana's got some great information to share with you. I'm going to let her get started, and then I'll chime in.
So first and foremost, I really think it's important to realize, so with many people, they're going to be starting new diets, they're going to be starting new exercise routines, they're going to try to start all of these new patterns within their body. But here's the problem, right? If you never get rid of the old things, you're never really going to be able to stick with the new things, right? So when we talk about cleanse, right? So our body just naturally detoxes and cleanses things out, right? So some of our main organs that need to be cleansed, we cleanse through our skin, we cleanse through the liver, we cleanse through some of the different organs. So it's so important, because if we don't do this, what happens is we get toxin buildup and it gets within our cells. And that's where we have future issues, right? So we know that, we just don't get illnesses overnight. It's time and time of neglecting to get some of these nasty things out of our body. So I like to kind of make this analogy, right? So if you, especially if you're a woman out there, right, and you wash your hair maybe in the bathtub or whatever, in the shower, and your drains get clogged, right? Once they get clogged, right, you can't just keep putting stuff down the drain. Mm-hmm. What's eventually going to happen? Right? You're going to have to snake it, right? You have to clear out all the junk that got in there, so that way everything flows through the drain again. It's the same exact thing with our system, right? Do you realize that every single time you eat, you're supposed to have a bowel movement? How many do? Raise your hand. How many people out there do, right?
We're going to get personal with the other night.
Every single time you eat, your body's natural response is to eliminate. That's what it's supposed to do. But why doesn't it do it? So more than likely because it is afraid, because it's like, well, last time we ate, right, we got this little bit of vitamin C and this little bit of vitamin A and a little bit of B, and I don't know when the next time she's going to put that in my system, so I'm just going to hold on to everything, right? Because it's like feast or famine. It's confused. It's I don't know which way we're gonna go. So we're just gonna hold on to everything. We'll just hold it, whether it's good, bad, whatever. We're just gonna keep it in here because we're confused. We don't know what's going on in our system. So we have to keep that in mind. So if we're going to start new things, especially when it comes to your diet, it's going to be so much easier to not go back to the old habits if you fully cleansed out all of the bad, nasty things that may have been sitting there for a long time, right? If you've never done a cleanse, you could have stuff stuck in your colon, stuck in that's been there for years, and that's pretty scary, right? So we want to pull all of that through. So digestion, really when we think about it, that's the whole system. So tonight we're gonna get a little bit deeper into a particular cleansing system that we're gonna use, and we're actually gonna in the new year pose a challenge. And so we invite everyone to kind of join us in on this challenge, and it's gonna be with Young Living's Cleansing Trio.
So, and just before we move on to that, I want to reiterate what Dana is saying, because when it comes to our digestive system, it starts with the mouth, right? Before we even put anything into our mouths, like when we smell food, or even when we're thinking about getting our next meal, like our body is already preparing itself to take in food and digest it. So, like Dana was saying, sometimes we have to remove the harmful toxins within the body, but we also want to help the body produce and supply itself with the things that it needs to be able to absorb the good things. So when we talk about this cleansing trio that we're going to talk about this evening, this is all to prepare your body to be able to absorb the good things that it needs for normal operation of the and function of the digestive system, so that you can fully benefit from it. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So then if we just think of digestion, again, it starts in that mouth. So when we think about every time we eat, we want to get things free flowing and free moving. So then you want to go on the product?
So really quickly before we do that, so I want to break down a little bit more about how digestion works so that people can understand. So like we mentioned, it does start in the mouth, but when you eat something, it's not going to flow right through your body, right? It doesn't just fall out the other end, and unless you have a serious condition. But you want your body to be able to absorb the nutrients, and one of the ways that your body does that is through using enzymes to help break down certain parts that are within the food to turn it into food sources for certain organs in the body or sources of energy. And so part of how your body moves food through the system is through peristalsis, and that's almost like, I think of it like Pac-Man, how it's constantly pushing things through your system so that it can move past the organs that it needs to, get absorbed into the bloodstream, get broken down so that your body can use it. Now what happens is sometimes we just don't have enough of the enzymes. We don't have enough of what our body needs to help break those things down. So the food either gets stuck, like Dana said, and your body just holds on to it, or some of the complete junk just passes through with no nutritional benefit. So sometimes we may be eating from the standpoint of just trying to feel full, but we're not really benefiting from what we're actually taking in. So part of this is you also need to be conscious of what you're eating so that you can make sure that you're taking in the right kinds of foods to provide the right kinds of nutrients for your body. Some of the things that we'll get into when we talk about each of the products is some of these products have enzymes that are actually within the product, and it's going to help your body to absorb nutrition a little bit better. So let's start with the first product.
Okay. Which one?
ICP, right?
You want to start with ICP?
Let's start with ICP.
Okay.
I'll be your Vanna.
So ICP, it comes in a powder. So you can kind of open that up so people can see that it is a powder. So with the ICP, you are actually going to take scoops of that. And during this cleanse, you're going to do this 3 times a day. So it has enzymes in it. It has essential oils, other great things in it as well. So you can also mix this in water. You can mix it in carrot juice. You can mix it in apple juice or a smoothie. But the thing to keep in mind with this is it's going to expand. So as soon as it hits the liquid, it's going to start expanding. So you have to drink it super, super fast, right? So the same thing it's doing is expanding when it's in that cup. That's what it's going to do through your system. So that is what's going to scrape through everything, flow through that system. Because it's beautiful, beautiful food, it keeps flowing through until it needs to come out. So a lot of times, different supplements and things on the market, they're not going to do this because our stomach is actually very, very acidic. And so before any of the supplements and things actually get to be used, the acid from the stomach has ate all of it up. So the beautiful thing about this is it's going to pass all the way through that system.
And just some things to add. I mean, ICP is actually really, really good. I'm looking at some of the oils that are in there. By having essential oils in it, it helps to increase the body's ability to absorb some of the other good things in there. But you have your fennel oil is in there, anise, tarragon, ginger root, lemongrass, rosemary. Some of those oils are actually in the Digest blend that we've talked about before. But in addition to that, they have also added 4 different enzymes. So you have your lipase, your protease, phytase, and peptidase. Yes, I said that correctly. So like your lipase helps to break down fat within the body and use that for energy. Your protease helps to break down proteins. So having those, maybe sometimes we have issues with our digestive system, and it might just be a reflection of we don't have enough of the enzymes to break down that particular byproduct in our system so that our body can use it. It's interesting when I was doing some of the research, even like, for example, somebody that says maybe they're lactose intolerant, like that their body can't tolerate lactose. Well, it may not necessarily be that your body can't tolerate lactose. It might just be that you don't have enough lactase, which is the enzyme that helps to break down lactose in your body. So if you're having those kinds of issues, in addition to identifying what's causing that, it might be interesting to see that maybe, okay, I'm just lacking some kind of enzyme, and look in that direction.
Yep. So again, that's going to be taken 3 times a day with the cleansing trio. Also keep in mind, so with this cleanse, you can eat, but you want to eat as clean as possible, right? So that, again, you don't have things working against what you're trying to pull out.
And I'll just add to that really quickly, preferably live foods. And sometimes we get it in our mind that a live food is just, a raw fruit or vegetable. And the truth is, a live food is only live for the first 24 hours after it's been picked. So unfortunately, not everybody has a garden that they can just go out, pick their food and eat it right away. But raw foods are going to be better than cooked, obviously. If you can get live foods, by all means get live foods. It's going to make a world of difference. But if you can't, raw fruits and vegetables. If you must cook them or try steaming them so that you don't cook all of the enzymes and the nutrients out of the food in addition to that. All right, what do we got next? Essential Zyme?
Okay, you want to talk about Essential Zyme? So we don't have Essential Zyme with us. So I'll just talk a little bit about it, but it is one of the third pieces to the cleansing trio. So there's 3 steps to it. So it's a bi-layered multi-enzyme complex caplet, specially formulated to support and balance digestive health and to stimulate overall enzyme activity. So some of the oils that are in here is tarragon, peppermint, anise, fennel, and clove. Healthy pancreatic function, which is very, very important, again, when we talk about this whole digestive process. We want to make sure our pancreas has plenty of love and is working at its optimal ability. So in this particular cleanse, you're going to take this 1 hour before your largest meal. So whatever your largest meal is going to be of that day, while you're doing the cleanse, you're going to take that enzyme 1 hour before. So you might have to kind of set a timer or remind yourself to make sure, because it's a slow releasing, right? So it's going to be working before that food is introduced and brought into the system.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at some of the other ingredients. I'm now like floored by how great some of these products are, because I'm looking at the enzymes, and this one has amylase in it. So your amylase breaks down your starches into simple sugars. And one thing about the American diet is the American diet typically is extremely high in starches. So what that's got me thinking about is for those looking to make maybe weight management changes, and maybe it's linked to diet, like we're taking in way too many starches. Look at maybe cutting down on that, number one, but making sure that your body is supported with all the enzymes that it needs. Essential enzyme is going to be a great one for that. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 or 9 different enzymes that they've added to this blend. So really worth it.
And again, this is food, right? And so not all supplements are created equal. If you don't learn anything else, if your supplements do not have oils in it, try to find you some that do, because you are not going to get the absorption. If it's not food, your body doesn't recognize it. It doesn't understand what to do with it. So these are all enzymes from plants.
Okay. All right. So what's the next one we got? Are we moving on to Comfort Tone? All right. So I have a personal testimony, but go ahead and talk about Comfort Tone, and then I'll share my personal testimony. Oh, okay. All right, so one of the other things that I will add is Comfort Tone by Young Living, if everyone can see that. So I'm going to share my testimony on this because I know for me, I've always had issues with digestion, especially growing up in a weird phase through the 80s and 90s where, oh man, that's just a long story. But Comfort Tone helps to balance out and support your healthy digestive function. So you've got some great things in there. You've got licorice root, cayenne. You've got your tarragon oil, peppermint, which is really good for supporting normal digestion. And so with Comfort Tone, you can take 1 capsule 3 times a day, so 1 with each meal. But one of the things, I don't know if we've mentioned it in this one, but we talk about it in almost every health talk, is to make sure that you drink plenty of water. So with this product, it's recommended that you drink at least 64 ounces of water throughout the day for best results. And part of the reason for that is not only does your body need the water, but we talked about keeping things flowing and moving, right? Water is going to help encourage that. Water helps to flush out the body in your different systems. So if you are a person like me that maybe you've had digestive issues over the years, maybe you are lacking certain enzymes or your body has difficulty breaking down certain foods, you're going to want to really try to support it the best of your ability. I've found that Comfort Tone has been something that's worked for me really when not much else did, right? Yeah. So I definitely will recommend that hands down.
Some other great honorable mentions in this blend, and it's just like, again, how it always blows my mind. Like you take a Young Living supplement and you're looking for one result, but they put all these other amazing things that are going to just have some other wonderful benefits. Like this also has echinacea. How many people are familiar with echinacea? All of the health benefits with echinacea. How much are you going to get by making sure you're intaking that every day throughout this cleanse? Also, a big one, bentonite clay. So how many people have been talking about bentonite clay and the benefits of that and taking that in internally, what it's doing for the body and the detoxification that you're going to get? Again, you're getting that in this cleanse, right? So Comfort Tone has some other just really, really amazing things. Garlic, barberry, right? So a lot of licorice, apple pectin, and again, we mentioned all of those oils as well too. So you're gonna get so many health benefits in addition to. And the other beautiful thing is what I love about this cleanse, because I've done this cleanse quite a few times. And the beautiful thing is, like, some people are like, oh my goodness, am I gonna be like running to the bathroom all day long? Like, what is gonna happen? What it's gonna do is it's going to put your body back in place the way it's supposed to work, right? So again, we said when we eat, what is supposed to happen? You're supposed to have a bowel movement, right?
You're supposed to go.
You're not supposed to have bowel movements every 2 seconds, right? You shouldn't have to be, oh, I gotta go, right? That's not the normal function of the body. So that is not what this cleanse is gonna do. And if you've ever done a cleanse that is like that, you might
Yikes.
want to look at that because
Yikes.
that is not normal. That was not putting your system back the way it was supposed to be working and functioning.
Yeah. And then, I mean, when I think about products like these, I think of simplicity, you know. So I remember growing up, my father used to take echinacea all by itself. Like, he would take like certain herbal supplements, but he'd have to drive like an hour and a half to get them, and he was taking like 15 to 20 different, you know, pills a day. And so I just think of how wonderful it is to have something like this, because we all live in a world where everything's fast paced. Maybe you aren't going to remember to take 15 to 20 different kinds of herbs. You have everything packed in a few capsules that you can take during the cleanse. So simplicity is another thing.
And the reality is too, with Young Living, you know, products were made for a purpose. So Comfort Tone is a particular product that, you know, was formulated by Gary Young back in 1985 for a patient, right? So it was specifically, he was looking at what herbs, what oils worked harmoniously together, and that were going to help this particular lady. Her name is Donna, and she was told that she was not going to live another year, and yet she is still alive today, right? So again, when we think of the results of all of these pieces put together, because that's how it is in nature. These things work as food and they have to be put together. When we isolate certain things, we lose out on the benefits. It's not as beneficial to just take things separately if that's not how it would be in nature.
So let's move on to the final one. Let's talk about Ningxia Red.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is also gonna be.
This is proof that we drink our Ningxia Red. Okay.
Right.
We're not going to show you a full bottle that we never drink.
And honestly and truthfully, a lot of our health talks, we talk about this powerhouse, but especially when we're doing this cleanse, right? So we're removing all the nasties, right? We want to replace, okay? So anytime in our body, when we say, let's remove something, our body immediately is like, oh, what are we losing? What's going away, right? So we need to replace it with beautiful, nice, healthy things that are going to just love on our cells and are going to nourish the body. So that Ningxia Red is going to be just that, right? So we're pulling out, maybe we eat too many sweet things. Maybe we right now have a high level of carbs, right? And so we're removing all of that from our system. We're pulling all of that out. And now we're going to replace it with some natural fruits, some, you know, natural berries from the Ninja. So that is going to be important to make sure that we're not only removing, but we're replacing it with good, healthy things. And
then remember too, you want the body to work cohesively. You know, one thing I do like about Ningxia Red is there is something in there to support almost every single system within the body. So most of our health does start within our digestive tract and our gut, but you want the body working together. So some of the changes that you'll notice, typically once you clear out all the junk and your body starts to recover and get back to normal function, you're gonna sleep more peacefully. You're gonna notice that you may have more energy. And so something like Ningxia Red is going to encourage the body and say, hey, we realize that back then some stuff was off. Let's get back to regular function. So that everything works like a well-oiled machine. So I swear by Ningxia Red. I was not always a believer in Ningxia Red, and I swear by it now. It's been very productive for helping to keep us above the wellness line for the past 3 years. So if you have not had an opportunity, please get with whoever invited you to see this video, or if you would like us to answer more questions about it, because we swear by these products. They've been really beneficial for me and my family, and we love them.
Yeah. So our cleanse challenge will start January 13th. So we wanted to get on here to really explain and dig into really deep as to what's in these products, what you're gonna get, what type of results you're looking for, and what is all going to be required. So you definitely need all 4 pieces of this particular system to get the best results. All of them do work very well isolated, but for this cleanse, you're going to want to have them all working together. To work through your system. With this challenge, we're going to have accountability. We're going to be supporting and working with one another. So you are going to do it according to what is going to be best for you, whether you want to do 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. But we are going to do this cleanse all together. And so we want to invite everybody to join in on the cleanse and really see in the new year if you can get better results. Really, to see lasting changes within the body, you want to give yourself 90 days, right? For the systems to really, because especially if you've been doing something that's harming your body for years and years and years, you want to revamp and at least give it 90 days of that beautiful love.
Recuperate. And
to repair and fix what was going wrong. So if you have more questions about the challenge, please get with us. Again, we're super excited about this challenge because we really want to see health and wellness for everybody, because it is attainable, it is possible, but we cannot do the same things we were doing before if we want different results, right?
Yeah. So right before we sound off or leave you guys, sound off. Feel free in the comments to let us know if you'll be joining us in the challenge. It'd be nice to get an idea of who's coming along. So hopefully this information you guys have found of value. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. You guys have been supporting us over, man, I can't think of how long we've been doing Health Talk with the Minds, but thank you for you guys' supports. Hopefully you found it beneficial as we've been doing these. And like Dana said, any questions, feel free to let us know, and hopefully we can answer them to the best of your ability. But with that, we'll sign off. And thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye guys.